Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond Dafeet. I'm Kez, and today we're looking at the two quality stability shoes. Pretty sure they both featured in the top two when it came into best stability shoes coming into 2021. Hoka Arahi 5 and your Kayano Lite. So both these shoes are brilliant stability shoes, both quite lightweight. They come in at a similar, kind of around that 250 grams when it comes to stability shoe, but they are both using two decent stability systems, but both doing it in a different way. So if you are wanting that shoe that does offer you a bit more guidance throughout your step, if you have suffered in the past with finding some stability shoes too aggressive without doing kind of much of a holistic and keeping you guided, especially on the forefoot, which both these do well. One does a bit better than the other. These are two great stability shoes when you're looking at a daily trainer with having a ton of cushioning under the foot, as well as still being lightweight. So Kayano itself been around for 27 years. This is the first year, I think this was released late last year, that they did look at doing something a bit more simplistic, using a one-piece midsole, which is revolutionary for Asics. They just do have a bit more of a different way to do it. So with their stability system in this one, they do use a convex on the medial side, so it is kind of shaped like that. Then when on the lateral sides for the outside of the shoe, it is concave, so you got a bit more of a just a cave on the lateral side, so it does tend to push you slightly a bit more to that lateral side, a bit more towards the out of the shoe, since most runners running in this shoe should have a slight bit of pronation, whether that be moderately or severe. If you do severely pronate, I probably would push you towards the Arahi 5 more. These guys have been using their J-frame stability systems for the last 5 years now, so it is a rear foot as well as midfoot and forefoot pronator shoe. So I personally forefoot pronate, so put a lot of pressure on that medial side on the forefoot section, and this is the one of the only shoes on the market that does accommodate for forefoot pronators. I do suffer myself from shin splints, kind of had that on and off for the last kind of year or so now, so it does working great in that fact, having a ton of cushioning underneath your forefoot as well. This does run with a 5mm drop compared to your 10mm drop in your Kayano, so a bit more pleasurable underneath your forefoot on your Hoka Arahi. If you want, I want something that just does basically a ton of Ks, still being lightweight and got a ton of cushioning underneath the foot, the Arahi would be great. If you are wanting something a bit more versatile, something you can do a bit of a, I know, gym workout in, if you want to basically wear it casually or even just go for a ton of running, your Kayano does work great for that as well. So basically using full ground contact, pretty generic midsole shape as far as the kind of build up of the outsole goes. Just touching on the outsoles, both have a ton of rubber on it. With your Hokas, they have kind of filled in that lateral side, so you're not going to get any of that initial wear on that lateral side anymore, and basically they have the rubber where it needs to be, so you do have that stability system kicking into play, so you won't have to put a whole lot of pressure onto that medial side. But yeah, got a ton of rubber to wear through there, and basically hardly saw any wear on these guys initially. Need to put a few more Ks into them, I reckon. Till I see a bit more wear. I've probably done a bit more running in the Kayano Lite. I did pick this up later last year, and yeah, even used it as a work shoe as well, so it is comfortable even if you want something to work in all day. A bit more simplistic take to the Asics shoes of recent, so a lot less going into the midsole, making them a lot lighter. Actual build up of this shoe is brilliant. So you got your sticky rubber in your forefoot, so it does act as a bit more of a cushioning system as well, but you're just not going to slip in the wet, and then your higher abrasive rubbers elsewhere in the shoe, so your push off and your landing zones, they're just where they need to be, and you got a very wide platform in the middle, so that does act as a stability system in a way, so you don't get much torsion through that midfoot itself, which keeps your foot nice and guided. And with the convex they have going on the medial side, you basically just can't put too much pressure on that kind of medial side. More so pushes you to that outside on both feet without kind of overcorrecting yourself. So yeah, both do have great stability systems. You do have a slightly bit more forefoot pronation support as I suggested in the Arahi 5, but both have a great stability system. You don't have that dual density kicking into your arch on your Kayano Lite, whereas some of the other Asics you do. As far as the fit goes on both, you do have a slightly shallower fit on your Kayano series, so not as much height in the toe bucks compared to your Arahi. Saying that though, the Arahi has slimmed down a lot since the Arahi 4. The Arahi 4, pretty useless shoe. I did a video on that got a bit of hate, but they basically only did change the number on the shoe, which they could have done a lot more. So Arahi 5, this is my favorite stability shoe. They have the cushioning down pat. It's nice marshmallowy softness as they market it as, but it still has a great holistic stability system through that. with being nice and stable through the midfoot section and just being a lightweight package. They do have a gusseted tongue, so with most people that do run in stability shoes, they want a nice firm fitting over the midfoot section, nothing too sloppy, since the foot itself does have quite a bit of flexibility as it does. So very nice lockdown over the midfoot with your Arahi. Do basically lace both these shoes just because I've got quite a skinny ankle. I could probably run both these without a lock lace, but I'd probably say the Arahi needs a bit more of a lock lace than the Kayano Lite does. Touching on the inner soles, I did end up chucking my own inner sole in the Arahi. Good old renowned arch problem with the Hoka shoes. This is definitely not as bad as some in the past, but I just did find a slight bit of a niggle in that medial side, just the beginning of your midfoot. So yeah, I just chucked a midsole on that just for personal pleasure. You just don't have that arch kicking into that arch yourself. So yeah, the midsole just stays there. Whereas if you have suffered from the past and couldn't be bothered with the inner sole, the fit of this shoe is absolutely brilliant. The stability system is where it needs to be, and the fit of the upper, it's nice and slim through the instep height, so you're not getting any sloppage there and having to tie up the laces too tight. And just the fit over the full foot's brilliant. You've still got enough ample toe space without being too constricting and too sloppy. So yeah, the fit of the shoe itself, I would probably say the Kayano fits a slightly bit better. There's no kind of digging in of the midsole, just a bit more guided. The heel counter's nice and V-shaped, so if you do have a skinny Achilles, it does hug onto that quite well, and it's just a nice padded tongue. Yeah, it doesn't slip anywhere, even though it is a non-gusseted tongue. Probably the only thing I would change is just, chucking a bit of a gusset on that Kayano to keep it from slipping down to that lateral side, but it doesn't do that too much without it. You couldn't really go wrong with either of these two. If you have loved the Arahi series in the past, you'll absolutely love the Arahi 5, just because they did fix quite a few things that they needed to. The uppers on quite a few of the past ones were way too deep for a stability shoe, especially with most people having quite a low instep as well as low forefoot height. So they definitely slimmed it up where they need to. The Arahi 3 and 4 were just way too tall. But yeah, I really hope Arahi doesn't botch the Arahi 6, since this is such a decent stability shoe. Now looking at the Kayano, brilliant again, very lightweight for as far as the Asics stability shoe goes. This is probably the best Asics stability shoe ever made. Absolutely blows the Kayano out of the water as far as a running shoe goes. With still offering a decent bit of guidance and stability, and the cushioning on this is a lot more pleasurable the whole way through your foot, whereas I found with the Kayano 27, it does have quite a bit more stability and rigidity around the heel, but it doesn't have the softness that the Kayano Lite does when it comes to if you are a rear foot lander or even a midfoot striker. So honestly, you couldn't really go too bad if you picked up either of these. If you have loved Hoka in the past, pick up the Hoka. If you are an Asics loyal fan and want to try something that's more of a running shoe, a bit lighter, does a similar job to basically most of their other stability shoes, but is a bit more pleasurable to run in, pick up your Kayano Lite. Anyways, let us know which one you guys run in, if you do run in either of these. If it helped you basically purchase one of these, let me know in the comments, and we'll see you in another video. If you want me to compare either of these shoes to anything else, let us know in the comments as well. Anyways, give us one of those ones, hit the sub button and all that jazz. See you again.